Have you ever wondered why your colleagues are better than you at work? Ever wondered why, despite being in demand, your job doesn't give you the satisfaction it should? You're not the problem, my friend. Your fitment with your job is. Come find out more about this.
Hello. Did you know the average employability of all graduates is just 40%? The MBA employability is just 6.5% better, despite an additional degree and potentially an education loan. This means college education does not prepare you for the job market. Let's find out more about this. In the previous video, we spoke about the individual being the root cause of being in the wrong job and the job itself. In this video, we'll be talking about the job fitment being the root cause. Let's bring in TMD and talk more about this. So, TMD, my question to you is, how do I know the fitment is the problem and not me or the job itself? What are the key indicators?
Yeah, very. It's an important thing to remember what we discussed in the last two videos. I gave you the analogy of the marriage counselor, husband and wife going there. And typically, in a marriage context, the fitment becomes a problem. We talk about compatibility. That's the word used by the counselor. That means you are okay, your spouse is okay, husband is okay, wife is okay, but together they are okay. This is called compatibility. Similarly, in a job market, you are okay, the job is okay, but the compatibility or the fitment is not okay. That's the meaning of when you say fitment. So, how do you find out? Simple two questions you ask yourself and you know that you are okay. You find your friends find you to be very normal
Yeah.
and you're very popular in the college. And every day you go to work with a lot of enthusiasm and energy, but you're not successful. The second variant of that is the job is very much in demand. A lot of your friends are doing the job very well. They enjoy the job, but you are not enjoying it. Now, these are two indicators of you being okay and the job is okay, but the fitment is not okay.
But why does this mismatch occur, sir?
Actually, there are broadly three reasons why the mismatch occurs. The first and the most common one is a skill mismatch, and in fact, you presented a beautiful data of colleges and how people, when they pass out of the colleges, there's a skill mismatch. The educational system in India is not designed for the job market, and therefore there is a skill mismatch. The second is an expectation mismatch. As you can see in the diagram, beautifully done. We normally think everything, all the expectation will be very smooth, and the entire job, everything from the job will be very smooth, like a straight line. But actually, in reality, it's very twisted. It's not what you expect, and therefore this expectation mismatch can be the cause. And the third is most difficult, which is called a personality mismatch, and we will talk about all the three of them uh, little by little as we go forward.
Can you tell me more about each one of them, starting with skill mismatch?
Yeah, of course. Um, See, we discussed this when you say education system. Why does the education system not deliver you exactly where the jobs are? The answer is simple because the education system does not know what job you're going to get at the end of the training period or the end of the college. For example, you could be a BA student, you're doing BA in history, you could be a salesman, you could be a person in going for civil services. Education system doesn't know. So it doesn't know what job to prepare you. It prepares you for a width of jobs. So it starts preparing you for generic skills and knowledge. But each job requires a specific skill set. And this is the mismatch between generic and specific skill set is the primary problem. So how does companies correct it? They conduct what's called induction training.
Hmm.
Engineers they come into the job and the first 7 days, 10 days, 20 days. In our years, it was much longer. Now it's all very short. So what they do, they give you induction period, the training. Sometimes it's inadequate, but more importantly, you don't take it seriously. You think it's another time pass, and suddenly you go down to the job and suddenly realize your induction training is also not adequate, not enough because the skilling which they gave in the induction training has not been absorbed by you. This is called a skill mismatch. It is a commonly believe Chinese work very hard compared to even Indians.
Yeah.
But this story appeared in a leading paper recently, and very powerful headline: Chinese professionals begin to shun grueling careers. What does it mean? Young people are saying, "Why should I work so hard? Why the jobs are so demanding?" The whole thing is this is what we call as expectation mismatch. That means you in the college, when you're in college, you have some impressions. Each of us want a high-paying, glamorous job. That's what the college people tell you. Um, the employer also, the expectation of the employer is also very high. You think the salary will be high, the employer will be very friendly. On the other side, employer also has a high expectation of the employee, because you come with the high salaries from day one. You are expecting a salary of 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs, whatever. So the employer also comes with high expectations, right? So when this employer gives you high salary, the first thing he wants is very high level of delivery. Delivery means that if I give you a target, you achieve that, and you achieve it at any cost. This is the expectation employer comes. But you can fix that. There's only one way, that accept the fact that high salary comes with high expectation. So you have to change your expectation and reset it. And that's the only way you can overcome the expectation mismatch.
What about the JP fit mismatch, sir?
Yeah, this is the toughest. Um, Among the three mismatches which we saw, um, you can the skill mismatch you can manage by getting reskilled, upskilled again. The expectation mismatch you can overcome by resetting your own expectation. Company will not reset the expectation. You have to reset. But the third one is very tough. That means the personality of yours is not matching with the personality required to do the job. Now, let me explain this. This is a very important concept. You must get it right. Every job requires a specific type of personality to succeed. Right? This is different from skill. I already talked about skill. This is not skill. This is a personality. For example, you look at a salesman or a sales executive in FMCG industry. FMCG means fast-moving consumer goods industry. You have to be very persuasive. You have to be very systematic. You have to have a positive outlook. If you don't have this, if you go into the sales executive FMCG industry, you will get frustrated every day. Similarly, for an accounts executive, you join as an account executive in a finance and account department, you must have a detailed orientation. Anything you do in great detail. You can't do superficial work. And you have to be an introvert. But the whole idea is to stay focused on the job. So what I gave you two examples of what kind of personality is required. These jobs require this personality. So the secret is when your personality matches with the personality of the job, boom, your career takes off. Now this we have established by looking at more than 1,000 successful people in the job market. We looked at what we call CXOs. We looked at their career and look at the career progression. Suddenly their personality and job fitment matches, and boom, it takes off.
Okay. So now that I have identified that the job fitment is the mismatch, what should I do next?
Yeah. This is a very, very important question. Obviously, the mismatch happens, your personality and job personality mismatch happens. The job is not going to change. The personality change is very difficult to achieve. Most of us come, our personality gets embedded in a system. So the most logical thing you need to do is to find a job which matches your personality. Now this is the very, very difficult thing to do, because if you look at all the tests available, a lot of personality tests are available. They all tell you what your personality is.
Yes.
Okay, I know my personality. Now my question is, I know my personality. What job should I apply? Nobody tells you that. Why? Because then they have to map all the jobs available in the market and find out what is the personality required for that job, and then map your personality to that job. And when you match these two, you get what is called JP fit, job and your personality fitment. This was done by we have done these exercises. We have created a very interesting uh, test. It's called a JP fit test, and this JP fit test is basically a personality typing test. You go online and take a test, and then based on our experience, we map the jobs, and then it will give you a recommendation of what kind of a job you should apply for based on your personality. So please understand, this is very important to know. When your personality doesn't fit the job, don't run away. That's not the solution. First, introspect, take some test like JP Fit test I talked about. After taking the test, go and identify which is the right job for you. Go find the job. After finding the job, then only you should quit. So people make a mistake of being unhappy in the job. The personality doesn't fit, they run away. That's not a solution. You have to stay, find the right job, and then quit.
Thank you very much, sir. In the next video, we'll talk about what do you mean when you say every job requires a specific personality type to succeed. Thank you very much.